Hello, this is W4HKL, and this is the W4HKL repeater. 443.950 is the current output frequency. And what I was wanting to do here is demonstrate the usage of the remote base interface, the Doug Hall here, and the three Kenwoods which are connected to it, just simply through the mic cables. There really isn't any kind of finagling with the radios that you have to do to get the COR or COS or anything like that out of it, which is kind of neat because when you're lazy like me, you don't want to mess with that. Okay, basically what happens is these things come on, the repeater is powered up. I'll go ahead and key it up so you can hear it. In fact, we may just go ahead and do a power cycle. Okay, we're going to cut the power. And here we go. Well, that didn't work too well. Let's try to leave it off a few more seconds to let everything drain down.
Repeater version 2.13.
Okay.
W4HKL repeater and remote base.
Alright, I had inadvertently switched frequencies on the HT. That's why you didn't hear the initial message and all that kind of stuff with the repeater. If you were able to see it, you would notice that the Doug Hall initializes each of the radios when the repeater is powered up. And what I'm going to do now is basically go through here and show you how to interface with the Doug Hall and the Kenwoods. Alright, the repeater controller is the Cat 700 or Cat 1000. Each of those will work with the Doug Hall and access all of its features and do a really good job. There are other brands, I'm just not familiar with them, so I really can't tell you anything about them. The Doug Hall is basically interfaced into the controller. The controller goes down to the repeater, and basically it goes between them. It's if you had a link radio, think of it as a link radio. The Doug Hall is a link radio, and it actually controls all these other units. These are frequency agile radios. You can literally program in every parameter that you could if you were sitting at the radios and at the repeater site. You can program the radios themselves to have memories, or you can let the Doug Hall, which will store up to 40 memories for each of these radios. I have a 2-meter, 220, and a 440 radio. There is a last one there for 1200, but in this area, 1.2 gigs just isn't going to do it in the mountains. Plus, there's nobody else using it. If I wanted to check the actual frequency of the Doug Hall, I would simply key in the code. I'll turn the volume up so hopefully you can hear it.
Frequency 224.120 minus.
Okay, what that did was tell me,
PL100 Hertz.
well, tell me several things. I'm using a PL tone. Also, what it did was tell me that if I activate the remote base, it's actually going to be using the 220 radio, and it's going to be going into that frequency, which is a repeater in Millsboro, Kentucky, which effectively would link the two together. The signal strength and audio quality really is dependent on what kind of a path you've got with your antenna system and other considerations. But all in all, I've gotten pretty good audio reports, and the gentleman that set this up, WB4IBB, went through and did a cursory testing of the audio and made sure the levels were pretty close to what they needed to be. Now, let's say we wanted to switch frequencies. We go ahead and key the code in. Okay, I activated it.
Frequency code 1.
Okay, you'll notice this is flashing. 442.325 is activating the UHF radio, and if we want to check our frequency, we key in the proper code.
Frequency 4.
Okay, it also has a tone in there. I'm pretty sure you can go ahead and get that information, but again, it's just programming in a lot of numeric strings, and I have to write it down on a sheet of paper. But once it's in and saved in memory in the Doug Hall, in the Cat 700, it's there, and you can call it up just about any time you need to. Again, you can also store frequencies in the radio itself and go back. I'm probably going to put the weather on the 2 meter. I think it'll receive out of band. I'm pretty sure it will. And just put that in there, and that way I can always call it up if I need to, if I don't have that capability where I'm currently using, say, an HT or something. But anyway, I'll go ahead and get back to the Doug Hall stuff. Again, we started on 220. We jumped over to 440, and now we're going to jump over to 2 meters.
Frequency load 13.
Okay, the UHF is off. We went over to 220. This is the La Follette 220 machine. Okay, I don't have my cheat sheet in front of me. To get a 2 meter frequency in the remote base, I'm going to try, I think 10 might be one. W4HKL, Freddie.
Frequency load 10.
Nope, it's the, I think I want to call it the Seymour area 220, doggone it. But anyway, you get the picture. You put in the memory, the Doug Hall takes care of everything. You can reset it. Sometimes it gets a little confused. It loses track of what frequency's what. And basically what this does is reinitialize each radio. This, of course, doesn't have a actual bulb that's working, and these two do. These radios themselves are prone to losing the memory battery in them goes bad after about 20 years, and they do need to be replaced. The good thing about it is even if the radio loses its quote-unquote mind and doesn't retain its memories very well, the Cat 700 controller can handle up to 40 frequencies that are spread out amongst the 3 remote bases. And Buddy is very excited at this fact, and as Pugsley here, and he is also the other guard for the repeater. Buddy gets you down and bites you, and Pugsley sits on you until help gets there. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed a little bit of a demonstration of the 950 repeater, which is currently set up at the QTH at roughly 1,300 feet, just outside of the town of Perryville, Tennessee. So 73s from W4 HKL.